Google Gemini new free updates are insane. Google just dropped 5 massive updates to Gemini, and they are completely free. We are talking AI inside Google Maps, AI inside Chrome, AI inside Docs, Sheets, Slides, and a brand new AI model that nobody is talking about. This is the biggest Gemini update yet. And by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly how to use every single one of them. So let me break it all down. So the first update is wild. Google put Gemini inside Google Maps. And I do not mean a little chatbot in the corner. I mean, you can now talk to Maps like it is your personal travel guide. Here's what that looks like. You open Google Maps. You type something like plan a 2-day food tour in Tokyo. And Gemini does not just give you a list of restaurants. It actually reads through reviews, looks at photos, checks local guides, and builds you a full plan. Stops, times, routes, everything. Or say you're in a new city. You type find a quiet cafe to work near a park. Gemini pulls up options based on what people actually said in their reviews, not just star ratings, actual context. And here's where it gets even crazier. So they added something called immersive navigation. So now when you are driving or walking somewhere, Gemini can highlight landmarks, show you directions that feel almost like augmented reality, and even say things like take the second right after the red building. That is next level. That is not just a map anymore. That is an AI co-pilot sitting in your passenger seat. Think about what this means for travel. You do not need to spend 3 hours on Reddit trying to plan a trip. You just ask Maps. Done. This one feature alone is going to save people so much time. And again, it is free. Now, the second update is where things get really interesting for anyone who uses Google Workspace. And if you use Docs, Sheets, Slides, or Drive, pay attention because this changes everything. Gemini is now baked into all of them. Let me start with Google Docs. You can now tell Gemini to write entire documents for you, like you open a blank doc, type, write a blog post about AI automation, and it just does it, full thing. You can also highlight a paragraph and say, rewrite this to sound more professional, or summarize this whole report into 3 bullet points. It does it instantly. Google Sheets is even more impressive. You can now ask Gemini to analyze your spreadsheets. So say you have a big data set of sales numbers. You type find trends in this data and build me a chart. Gemini reads the data, spots the patterns, and creates the chart for you. No formulas, no pivot tables, just plain English. Google Slides now lets you generate entire presentations. You type create a 10-slide presentation about climate change, and it builds the whole thing. Slides, design, layout, content, all of it. You can go from 0 to a full presentation in seconds. And Google Drive got a huge upgrade too. You can now search your files using normal language or summarize everything in this folder. Gemini reads through your files and gives you answers. No more digging through 50 folders trying to find that one document. This is not.
Google just released a bunch of brand new features that just put hundreds of startups out of business overnight. And by the end of this video, you're going to learn what all these changes are, how you could use them, and what new use cases they unlock. Now, the first new upgrade that we need to talk about is AI Studio just got a brand new upgrade when it comes to building apps. And if we come over to this X post right here by Google AI Studio, we could see all of the changes that have been released. As you can see, there is a brand new UI, but in addition to that, Vibe coding in AI Studio is now going to allow you to build out multiplayer, real-time games and tools, real services connected to live data, persistent builds where you can close a tab and it keeps working, and it gives you pro UI. And we're actually going to get even more into UI design and things like that in change number 2 because they released another upgrade that is absolutely insane. So now when we come over here, we could simply describe an app and Gemini is going to do the rest. In addition to that, we could see down here that we could get this to do multiple different things. We could add in Google search data, we could add in Google Maps data, we could generate images, we can do so many different things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say, I want to build out an app that allows people to upload a blank room or a room that they want redesigned. Now, what this should do is this should actually type this out, hopefully, because sometimes it messes up when I'm recording. Perfect. So this is going to allow people to upload a blank room or a room that they want redesigned for interior design. I am going to add in here, generate images with Nano Banana, and we need to come over here and see if we need to do anything else inside of this. We're going to use Nano Banana 2, and we're going to click on build. So if we wanted to add in anything else, we would simply just add that in. But now we can see that this will now go through. This is going to actually design the vision. This is going to actually create the vision. And this is going to go through and actually build us out the app that we want. Now, my favorite way to use this isn't actually to build out entire tools, but is to be able to vibe code different features and different tools for apps. In fact, I use Lovable to build out a lot of my apps. And what I do a lot of the time is actually build things out inside of AI Studio. I then download all the files, give it to Lovable or whatever tool you're using to code and say, hey, can you actually put this into our tool? And I do this all the time, and it's really cool to be able to do this, because the core issue that I've had with actually building things inside of AI Studio is that publishing it and being able to manage it from inside of here is kind of a pain. But this is really cool and really quick for building things, building MVPs, and just getting things out there quickly, especially if you're doing something that's using Google's products. And we could also see that they've now released a bunch of different upgrades. So they have focus mode where you could actually focus on changing one thing. We can see right here that you can now enter your environment variable to be able to continue right here. So this is going to allow us to actually select an API key, and then we'll be able to do this. So we should actually build this out so that they don't have to select their API key. I should have been specific about that, but I want to show you what this actually looks like. And we can see right here that this built visionary spaces right here, goes